there are ways that things benefit people and there are ways that they don't. And I'm going to lead into this in terms of the kind of sorting your head out piece. But imagine this. Imagine you're about to make a cake. Funny, because way back when I actually qualified to become a chef. So yes, I like cooking anyway. But imagine you're about to make a cake. And there are a couple of different ways you can approach this. You can be like they are on TV, have everything weighed and measured out, chopped up, all kind of laid out in nice bowls in front of you, so that when you make your cake, you just kind of tip things in. They're all there, measured out. The other way you could do it is, well, you're maybe making it at home. You know where everything is in your cupboard. So you're quite happy to go in, get the flour out of the cupboard, get the sugar out if that's what you're putting in there, get your apricots if you're adding apricots in there, and just take them out one at a time. You know where they are, so you're happy to do that. Maybe you might kind of judge it and do it by ear, or you might weigh everything out, because cake making can be an exact science too. So there's that second way. Or maybe you're the person that thinks, I'm going to make a cake tomorrow. I'm going to look through the cupboards and I'm going to remove anything. Oh, that bag of flour that's been there for a gazillion years. I'm going to chuck that out. In fact, I'm going to take everything out of the cupboards, give it a clean, and only put the things back in that I will need, or I think I might need. So there's 3 different approaches before you've even made the cake. And when you talk about how something benefits somebody and you break it down in this way, you can either clear the decks, prepare everything. You can measure it out, weigh it out, have it in front of you, so you just tip it in, at the last moment that you need it. Or you can go to the place where you know that those ingredients are. And this isn't too dissimilar to the work you do. When you're offering this to people, because it's your skill set, because it's your knowledge, it's because you know the key ingredients that you're going to be delivering for somebody, you might approach it where you just open the cupboard, take out the tools that they need and work with them in that way, or the information that they need, or the thoughts or your consultancy that they need. So you might do it that way. You might come prepared with everything laid out for just in case you need that thing, but it's all there. That makes you feel better. Or you might do a certain amount of, let's clear the decks, let's get everything ready so that there's space. Now, you'll notice out of those 3, one of those will feel better to you. And it's not that one is good or bad, or, one you should definitely do and one you should definitely not do. They're just different approaches. And over the years, when it comes to helping people to be visible, to put themselves out there in a way that is memorable and a way that is quite iconic for them, what tends to happen is I notice patterns. Tony Robbins says success leaves clues. I notice that there are patterns that happen. So people do things in a certain way, and there's a certain repetition. If you're an elite athlete, you are going to practice every day, or practice however many times you're supposed to practice, maybe a bit more. And if you're not physically practicing, maybe you're mentally practicing, which is what is going to bring me on to the next piece. So there's a cost for taking an action, and there's a cost for taking it in action. And for many of you who are offering services that people can't see, so you're essentially kind of selling the invisible. You can't hold up a consultation or I'm going to do your Facebook ads for you. You can show examples, but you can't hold it up and say, this is what it looks like. How heavy is it? How soft or hard is it? Does it stretch or not? You can't do that. So in order to convey your message, you need to know a couple of things. And if you don't, what happens is it can instill a crisis of confidence in the people or the person or the company or the corporate that you're working with. It can chip away at your confidence because now you're unclear as to how it's being received. Maybe somebody has articulated or verbalized it, and maybe they haven't as well. And it can cause you to hibernate. And this is what I see the most when it comes to being visible. Now, my system is the 𝗙𝗶 system, and you'll hear a bit more about that in future live streams. But one of the things that me and the vibers, anyone that comes into my world is nicknamed a viber, comes across is that they go into this vibination. And that is they've had an ability to put themselves out there, to be consistent in showing up and raising their profile, and then they hibernate. And there's some very famous examples of how people do this. We're not going to go into it now in the interest of time, but I'm going to talk to you about how we can clear our head, sort our head out. So the other thing is sometimes people take an action that's not suitable for them. They decide that then actually I'm not going to do anything. I'm pushing myself. And I was really I felt really blessed yesterday that the people that came through, they watched the video, some watched live, some watched on the replay and went, yeah, okay, I'm up for this. I'm in for this. It's not about making rash decisions. It's about honoring what honors you. So sometimes people don't do anything, or I've, spoken at various different places or helped, to deliver information in masterminds or groups. And even through my own workshop delivery, either online or in person, I'm always concerned, I guess. I'm always curious about what people are then doing, what they go on to do next, because I see a lot of my past students, a lot of my past clients, a lot of past companies, they go on to do such great things, like great things for them. And I love that. I'm here for it. That's why I do this work. But one of the things that breaks my heart, there's a little chink that goes through my heart, is when they don't do anything. Or they say, yep, I will do, I'll get round to it, I'll intend to do it. And the reason it breaks my heart is because I know that if they intend to do the thing and don't quite get round to it, it's almost like they have then starved themselves of the very thing that they wanted to do in the first place. The biggest thing, and many of you that heard my story of 365 consecutive days of Facebook Lives, yes, I did one live every day for a year. One of the things that's important is that we can sometimes inadvertently tolerate stuff in life, and we tolerate it and put up with it, which means that we've somehow, somewhere broken a promise that we've made to ourselves. This year is going to be the year I'm going to get fit. And then it gets to September and you haven't done one bit of exercise. You've actually broken a promise to yourself. Or I'm going to get visible, Jenny. I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to try it and see what happens. And then nothing happens, which is understandable because I specialize in this stuff and many people don't, But what happens is you break a promise to yourself. And what comes on from that is that it chips away at your confidence. If you think about it and if you remember, confidence is built in consistency. So consistency equals confidence. And without confidence, we chip away, we change our mind, we tell ourselves we're no good, and all sorts of things that really don't help us along this journey. So how do we deal with that? What do we do when we don't know what's coming? We don't know what's around the corner. We don't know if it's going to be a yes or a no. We feel somehow thrown off course. How do we do that? And this is the bit where I talk about head, heart, and hands, and I talk about sorting your head out. So one of the ways that you might sort your head out is to have a clear out. Remember, I was giving the example in the cake making that you might go to the cupboards, clear everything out so that you've got this lovely clear space. It could be that you do that. So the act of being visible, and especially in an iconic way, means that if you go and clear out the things that you don't need, that don't serve you, that have got weevils in them, that are 6 years out of date, that have turned, dried out, if you get rid of those and you make space, even though you don't know what's happening next, even though you don't know what's coming, It allows you to live from a place of opportunity and possibility. And when you live from a place of opportunity and possibility, it's like the world opens up for you. I said to somebody recently, it's like nothing's changed, everything's the same, but everything's changed and everything feels different. When we get all of this and lay down that groundwork, it's really helpful. So one of the ideas is to have a clear out. The next idea is to be consistent in how we do this. Now, you might have heard of things like 5 a.m. starts. You might have heard of a brilliant book called The Miracle Morning. I highly recommend that. But you might not be a 5 a.m. person, or by 5 a.m., maybe your baby is up and screaming and needs your attention, so you don't get that space and time. So whether you're a 5 a.m.er or not, I'm not here to debate that. You have to do what's right for you. But one of the concepts in the Miracle Morning is around kind of setting yourself up for success in a few different ways. One of those ways is visualization. I have got a whole kind of checklist, if you like, of different ways you can start up your day, starting from sorting your head out, which means that you might listen to a particular meditation, you might listen to or watch a particular motivational talk. And there are some that over these last 14 years I've been doing this are a regular go-to. So for those of you who are part of Iconic, you'll get a resource guide as well so that you can click into them. It's like the one to use when you're feeling angry or feeling like you've been taken advantage of. The one to use when you're looking at just showing up and being present. The one to use if you're thinking, right, I need to get some cash in the business and I need to do this consistently. So there's lots of different resources that you get to pick and choose, like a menu. You'll have access to all of them, but you pick the ones that you need. And because a lot of us are time poor, some of them are short. So it could be a 3-minute relaxation video or something like that. Okay, so when we have a clear out, we sort our head out, it means we can move forward. So today, whether you're going to kind of like re-listen or re-watch this, or whether you're going to kind of take little action points as you go through, I want you to really sit with, well, what resonated most with me today from this? Was it the need to make more space, the need to have a clear out? Was it the need to think about how somebody needs something, what they want, or